Christmas story before I go to bed?
Well, sure, Otto. Would you like me to tell you a story about why we have Christmas?
I know all about that. It's to get presents.
No, silly. It's true that we do give and get presents, but that's not why we have Christmas.
Well, then it's to eat.
No, we do that too, but that isn't it either. Let me tell you why.
Well, it's about time you're getting to the story.
Well, this is a true story that really happened.
I like true stories.
You know, we've talked about how God created the world.
Yep, and people too.
And he loved the people and wanted them to love him.
But they didn't. I remember they didn't listen to God.
That's right. People didn't do what God told them to. They did just as they pleased.
They sinned against God, didn't they?
That's right.
Well, I guess God just got rid of everybody then.
No, he loved all the people, so he had a plan. He decided to send Jesus, his son, to save the people from their sin.
Wow, Jesus is God's son.
Yes, his only son.
Oh.
God planned for Jesus to come to the world as a baby.
A baby?
Yes, God chose Mary and Joseph to be his parents.
You mean Jesus was gonna be a baby? Like I was a baby otter once?
Well, Jesus wasn't born a baby otter, but a human baby. An angel told Mary and Joseph they would have a baby and that they should call him Jesus.
So then Jesus was born just like that.
Well, not quite that fast. There's a bit more to the story that we can't leave out.
Okay.
The Romans were ruling over the land where Mary and Joseph lived, and the ruler decided to count everyone.
I don't think he'd have enough fingers and toes to do that. Well, what does that have to do with Jesus being born?
Well, remember I said God had a plan. God had told the people many, many years before that Jesus would be born in Bethlehem. But Mary and Joseph were living in Nazareth at the time.
It looks like Mary and Joseph had a bit of a problem.
Well, sort of, but not for God. He had the Roman ruler decide to count everyone in their hometown. So, guess where Joseph was from?
Walcott, Iowa.
No, silly. Bethlehem.
Oh.
So Mary and Joseph left Nazareth and headed to Bethlehem. It was a long trip, and they had to walk or ride a donkey.
What? They should have picked a different travel agency.
Oh, Otto, you're being your goofy self. Now, guess what else? When they got to Bethlehem, there were no rooms at any inn. They were all full.
Man, who was their travel agent anyway?
It was God, Otto.
Did God make their travel plans?
He sure did. And you know what?
What?
He knew exactly what he was doing and exactly what was happening.
So, what did Mary and Joseph do?
Well, they found a place in a stable to stay.
You mean where the animals sleep? Are you sure God planned this?
Yep, I sure am.
Well, it doesn't sound like the place I would pick for God's son to be born. I mean, where were the crowds of people, the parade, the big bands, and the television people?
Otto, the crowds of people were only a few shepherds.
Just shepherds?
Yes, God wanted all the people to know about his son. Not just people you and I might think are really important. See, all people are important to God. Rich or poor, young or old, weak or strong.
What about otters?
Well, yes, otters too.
Phew! a minute. Hey, after the shepherds saw Jesus, didn't they go tell everybody about him?
Well, they sure did.
Yeah.
And as for television people, God used an angel to announce Jesus' birth to the shepherds, and the glory of the Lord shone all around them.
Wow! I bet that was awesome.
Well, the shepherds were pretty terrified.
Ooh.
Then all of a sudden, a great company of the heavenly hosts appeared with an angel.
That's certainly much better than a band and a parade.
Yes, it is. And they were praising God, saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace and goodwill to men on whom his favor rests."
Oh, I guess God really did plan all that.
Yep, from the beginning to the end. God's plan was to bring salvation to all mankind.
But isn't this just the beginning of the story and not the end?
Yes, there is a middle to the story too. Jesus died and then rose again to take away all of our sin.
Then what's the end of today's story?
Well, Otto, I can't think of a better way to end our story than by telling you when someone truly believes and trusts in Jesus and asks for forgiveness for their sins. Jesus is the one who can save them from their sin.
Wow, and that story is still going.
Yes, it is, Otto. Let's you and I pass the story on.
Okay, but before we do that, Dennis, can we sing one of my favorite Christmas songs?
What's that, Otto?
Well, I'll start and you just follow along. A long time ago in Bethlehem, the Holy Bible say, Mary's boy child Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day.
Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king's born today.
And man will live forevermore
Because of Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king's born today.
And man will live forevermore
Because of Christmas Day.
And man
We'll live forevermore because of Christmas Day.
Because of Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Well, good night, Dennis, and Merry Christmas to you and to all of our friends.
Well, good night, Otto. Merry Christmas, and sleep tight, my little friend. Bye, everyone, and have a blessed Christmas. Now, stay tuned for Miss Robin's Craft Corner.
Hi, everyone. Merry Christmas, and welcome to Miss Robin's Craft Corner. Tonight, we're going to make this cute little Christmas tree ornament of the baby Jesus in a manger. So I hope you have gathered all of your craft supplies that you'll need. Of course, 2 popsicle sticks you'll need for the manger. And what I've done with mine, I kind of crisscrossed them. Can you see? Kind of like this. And I glued them together. Now you can make them as wide as you want or as narrow as you want. And I've already got some that I have glued together for demonstration tonight. So you don't have to make it too wide or too narrow. And then hopefully you've got like a light brown piece of construction paper or craft paper that you can use. Even a grocery bag will work, or a lunch bag for just the brown for the manger. And then I found like a cream color, or you can use white or tan if you'd rather, for baby Jesus's little face. So I found this little ring that I'm going to use for a circle, so I can trace to cut out for his little head there. So what you want to do now, Keith, I hope you can get kind of a close-up of this, is you want to, after this glue has dried, it might take maybe just an hour or even less for your glue to dry, depending on what kind you used. I just used Elmer's glue, but I kind of let it dry, and I set something heavy on top of it, like for instance this big heavy book, and I kind of put my piece of wax paper down first so the glue didn't stick to the book. Okay, so I kind of did that for just, I'm going to say maybe 15 minutes at least for it to dry. So that's how I did that. Now with your brown piece of paper here, I'm going to go ahead and lay my popsicle sticks down here and close to the edge of your paper, so you've got it so it goes straight across here in between the two pieces of your actual manger. So what I did with this was I went ahead and traced the inside of my popsicle sticks. Okay, so I traced the inside there. The next thing that you want to do when you cut this out, now listen carefully, because this, you have to do this. You can't cut it right along the line. You have to come out just a little bit. And reason being, you need something to glue. You need a little piece of edge of paper to glue to the inside of your manger, okay? So don't cut exactly on the line that you just traced. You need to come out just a little bit. And if you come out too far, that's okay, because we can cut it down. Then the next thing you'll do is you'll use your Elmer's glue, and I just kind of run it. I'm gonna go along the edge of my popsicle stick here. See how I'm doing that? Just put some glue along the edge, like so. And then you want to lay your, let's get some down here in the point too, a little bit. Okay. And then the piece that you just cut out of your brown, then you want to lay that just right on top of that. Okay, just lay that right on top. Now see, I could have been a little more generous with my paper when I cut mine. Okay, but it will work. Okay, so let's show you what that looks like. See there? Now what I'm going to do is, of course I've already done this, but I took my little circle and I traced it. So now I'm going to cut that out for baby Jesus' little face. His little head laying there in the manger. And remember what I said, every time you have a pencil line or whatever, you can make sure that that is the back of your piece, okay? So on the front, what I did, I went ahead and drew his face, okay? So he's got a couple little eyes here, couple little eyes, And I even drew him some little eyebrows. And then he's got a great big smile on his face because he's so happy to come to this earth to save us from our sins. So he's got a cute little smile. And what I did, I took a little bit of blush. So if Mom has some blush, that she uses on her cheeks, you can take a little bit on a Q-tip and just kind of make his little cheeks a little rosy. Okay, need just a little bit more here. Make his cheeks a little rosy. All right, so there's his little face. Now notice I left a little bit of room down here. I put his face kind of high because you're going to need this to glue down on your manger. Okay, so take just a little bit of Elmer's glue and notice how I'm working face down here. Okay, so you want to take and just glue his little face down in the center of the manger. And that will need to dry for just a little bit too. Okay, and I had some craft raffia at home. It's kind of like a plastic, looks like hay actually, or straw. So what I did with it, I cut a few pieces here and I'm just kind of separating it a little bit. Now you can use yellow tissue paper if you'd like, or any kind of paper that represents hay. I know some of you do live out on a farm, and you can probably even go out and ask the cows or your horse if you could borrow a couple pieces of hay or straw, huh? And what I did with these then, kids, is I laid them down on the back part of our manger here. I just laid them down, just wherever, however, just so it looks like he's laying in a bed of straw or hay, because that's what we envision when we think that he was born in a manger, in a stall where the animals are housed. They had no room at the motels or the inns or anything in Bethlehem, so they had to find the best place for baby Jesus to be born. It might not have seemed like the best place to us, but he was born, and he was born poorly, wasn't he? He wasn't born in a castle with kings and queens. He was born so he came to die for all of us who might not be rich, but were rich in spirit because of him. So what I did, I just taped these down to the back. See there? Just put a little piece of tape on them. Stick. Okay, just like that. You're going to have a really cute Christmas tree ornament here. Just tape them down. There we go. Let's see what it looks like so far. Oh, so far so good. Look at that. He's coming along pretty good. We got one more step and then we're finished. So what I did was take a piece of twine, and I don't know, I cut it maybe about, I'm going to say 8 inches. And we cut that. And what I did was I took some Elmer's glue and daubed at the top here, and daubed a little more over here on this side. And then I kind of pressed this down into the glue a little bit. And then brought this one around and pressed that down into the glue. And I just kind of held it for just a few minutes like this. And now what I'm going to do is take a little piece of wax paper, and I'm going to lay it over this, and then I found a heavy book, and I'm going to set it right down on top of all of that. Okay? And it will take a little bit for this to dry, but once it's dried, you remove the book Remove the wax paper. The wax paper shouldn't stick to the glue, but if it does, just take some scissors and cut around it. It won't matter. And then you'll find you have your cute little ornament to hang on your Christmas tree to remind us of the baby Jesus. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this craft tonight, and I wish you and your family a very, very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a nice vacation during Christmas. Please stay healthy, and please wash your hands and wear your mask wherever you go, and even for your family and friends. Be sure to be safe. And I also wish you a very happy and blessed New Year. And hopefully Otto and Dennis will be back with some more stories to tell us next year. So take care, and may God richly bless you and your family. Merry Christmas. Bye.